All right, and I believe we are live. And I hope that y'all appreciate the setup I have going on here. The longer that they take to set up the match, the longer that I have to customize things for y'all's enjoyment. Oops, better go referee there. Already we are talking about a DQ, which is excellent news for us. We are looking at a St. Gloriana versus Anzio today. That is Italian versus British, and this is going to be a lightweight match, which means the heaviest tanks that we're going to see on the battlefield are going to be the Matilda, the P40, pretty standard early lighter tanks. I do hope that we have a match today, but if we don't, St. Gloriana is here, so it's going to be an automatic win for them. As we wane on into the later games of the season, this match could mean playoffs for Anzio if they are able to pull out a win. We don't really know how the playoffs are shaking up right now. I believe St. Glo is out, unfortunately. They had a good, hard-fought season, but they did have some struggles. I don't think they're going to be able to make playoffs this season, unfortunately. Much as I would like to root for them. Speaking of rooting for them, I am absolutely in favor of Glo winning this match. So if you catch me cheering for Glo, that's why. I think that Glo needs a win. They got some work to do, but they are a good team. Regan, are you watching the stream? Don't look at the stream, friggin'. You're in the match. What's a Figler? I'm a Figler. I don't even know what a Figler is. Ask your boss what a Figler is. Ask Ruku. Ruku gave me the title. I just rep it. I also don't have chat pulled up, so excuse me for that. Let me pull up chat here. Twink Troubadour, thank you, Crow. Lemon. What's up, Lemon? Soggy, nice stream layout, thank you. Like I said, the longer that y'all take to set up the match, the longer that I have to fuck with the stream layout. And as you can tell, I got a little bit creative here. Do you like the little Primus? The little Primus that I put on the Kuro poster? Pretty sick. He is a PNG tuber. I am in fact a PNG tuber. This PNG model I paid $500 for. Obviously the rigging is very intensive. Erica Primus, true. Who are y'all rooting for? Well, actually, I guess most of you are probably in the match, so yeah, I know who you're rooting for. True deal on it. I don't know what that means. You know what I'm rooting for is I'm just rooting for Anzio to show up. That would be nice. I'd like to have a match here. I'm rooting for Stump to get paid. Thank you, Crow. Finally. Ruku's got to start paying me, dude. Look at the work that I put in for him. I went on my PC and looked up soy jack pointing no background and downloaded that image. All for Ruku, and he doesn't pay me shit. Hello, Regan. Let's see, we have 5 minutes for Anzio to show up. Ruku is anti-union, that is true. Ruku's a capitalist. I'm loving this Ruku slander. Anyone with Ruku slander does in fact get mod in the chat. I believe Anzio had like 2 weeks ahead of time notice, so if they can't show up to this, that'd be pretty disappointing. Because you want to hire as an employee, so you don't have to pay severance when he drops you. Ruku would never drop me. I'm way too important to him. I'm too valuable. Can Anzio like die or something? I think they have. I think they have already died. They had a lot of time. Yes, they did. If the teacher is 15 minutes late, you can leave. I would knock out Primus the teacher. Ruka wants to give you a big kiss on the forehead. Really? Does he mean that? You mean that? Do you have a source for that? Can I? Oh shit! Anzio's here. Or an A Anzio is here. A single Anzio. Two Anzios here. Oh, they're all here. They're all here. Big up my Fagels. You're not a Fagler. You're the Jakub of Faglers. You created us, but you are not one of us. Goodbye, Soggy. Goodbye, all of my Glow members. Obviously, make sure you're not watching the stream for when the match starts. That would be cheating. I'll check. Alright, good luck, Lemon. Alright, we're in. We are in. I'm ready. I'm nervous for Glow, man. I'm nervous on Glow's behalf right now. This is exciting. It's time for Big Fagel to lock in as well. I gotta do the color commentary. Whenever the team spawns, that is. There we are. Alright, let's get a look at what they've brought out. They have the 3 Crusader 3s and 3 Tetrarchs. Now, they don't have a Matilda out yet. I imagine they're probably going to spawn one. Oh, still no Matilda. Are they not bringing a Matilda? Interesting play here. Okay, so I can see what they're going with. I understand the perspective on that. You know, they do have a lot of guns that are very capable of killing the Matilda. I think I still would have brought one personally, but it's a lot of points. So, you know, they would not have been able to bring out half those Tetrarchs if they had a one Matilda. Anzio's looking pretty standard. The usual. Those 7534s are potent. The P40 is super strong. The M15s are capable, but nothing much to look at. Do they have 3 7534s? They do. They have 3 7534s. I didn't even know they got that many. That is a lot. The M15 with the big bomb on it. Let's take a look at the Anzio lineup here. Interesting. So they're doing pretty well. They have, I think, about 3 subs. The rest of them are actual members. And Glow with the impressive turnout. I think every single one of them is a member of the Gloriana team. Doing pretty well for themselves. We have about 10 seconds until go time. Let's see how they split up. Now, my guess here is that both of them play around the southeast side of the map. That is where most of the close combat is going to be available, and both of these teams, I think, are going to be wary of this big open area, especially pushing into it. And it does look like that is about what's happening. Anzio is splitting themselves up there. They have a 7534 down here going off to the left, away from the rest of the team. And then most of the team going right into the city or into the southeast side of the city. Setting themselves up on the ridge here. See if they take a stop or if they keep on going. This ridge is not a bad place for them to set up. It looks like the P40 is hesitating around the ridge, and then no, he is going right over. And they're leaving one M15 behind to watch, and a 7534. So interesting. They're kind of splitting themselves up, setting up half the team on the ridge. It looks like they're going to be combat here soon. There may be, what is that Tetrarch? Yes, there's a Glow group that is visible from that ridge that we talked about earlier, but they're not being seen just yet. Oh, they may not be visible. There is enough hill cover for them to get by. But they will likely be seeing the Anzio team here pretty soon. One of them has pinged. One of Anzio has pinged the Crusader group. Looks like they spotted somebody down the road. I believe that's them we're looking at right over there. Maybe not. Somewhere in that direction. And that Tetrarch better be careful crossing that direction. He got by okay. Still looks like nobody's been spotted quite yet. Anzio is holed up in that little area. Let's take a look at Anzio's position here. So we have two, those are the Tetrarchs, excuse me. There we go. So we have one of them watching down this direction. We have two of them on, oh, and there's a one kill on the Tetrarch. Already the one trying to flank along has now spotted most of the Anzio team. So that is good for St. Glow. Glow knows where Anzio is now. And one more shot. That is a, ooh, what did they take out? Is that the P40? No, that was an M15. Lucky break for Anzio. The Tetrarch to the left of them is picking them off in the flats over here. And what I'm curious about is most of Anzio in this little divot here is just not doing anything. They're completely ineffective in that spot. I wonder if they're going to move. There's a more shots being exchanged along the hill. The P40 is moving up, smoking, which is an interesting play, but moving up into the lines. And they bounce off of a Tetrarch. That is unfortunate. So Glow is up here playing along the hill. The P40 is going to be coming up into their flank here. He should be spotted. Oh, is he not spotted? The P40 might get a sneaky kill here if he's willing to be aggressive and make that push. Glow playing along the flats. And another kill on the 7534. That is the Crusader. Knocked him out. And on the flank, another 7534 knocked out behind the P40. Glow wisened up, and is that, no, P40 is still alive. He's taking shots. I believe he's going to get a shot back here on one of the, he is being way too aggressive. He's all on his own. No backup from the rest of his team. He got a one kill on a Tetrarch, but there are three more behind. And a Crusader marching around to try and help deal with that P40. With that, those initial engagements, already a bulk of Anzio's heavy guns are out. It is just one 7534 and the P40 left. The rest of them are N15s and obviously the L3, which is a scout tank, to say the least. There is the P40 is crawling along. 7534 is now backing him up. If we look on the map here, we can see the spread. It is all Anzio pushing in, but they're on a well-fortified position. And we have that L3 coming up behind the Tetrarchs here. He may have a kill if they don't see him. That's the problem with digging in, is they are easy to flank. And there are shots being exchanged. That is a Crusader 3 out, dead by the M15. Looks like they're taking shots. And the L3 is pushing, trying to kill the Tetrarch. He is hitting shots, but not killing. And the P40 is out. Tetrarch 1 managed to take him out. I wonder how that shot happened. I can't believe I missed that. One of the Tetrarchs is yellow all around. Don't know how that happened either. And if we are looking again at this line, Anzio's line looks a lot thinner now than it did a second ago. The L3 is now spotted by the Tetrarchs. And I believe there are still, yes, there are still two Crusaders left in this fight, which means that Glow definitely still has the firepower to take out anything on the Anzio team. With that P40 out, that is all of Anzio's big armor, and that is a Tetrarch down again by the M15. M15, which has been incredibly effective. We can see now 3 kills by Karlover in the M14, or the M15, excuse me. Tetrarch taking a shot on the 7534 here. He may have a kill. There's a bit of a standoff going on. I don't know what this is about. Is he... What is the play here? He's smoking up. Is he out of ammo? What's going on? Oh, there we go. Okay. there is the Blade kill on the 7534. And now we are down to 2 Crusaders and 2 Tetrarchs on Glow, and 2 M15s and an L3 on Anzio. That L3, by the way, getting dangerously close to the enemy team's cap. I think the Tetrarchs are moving out of their entrenched position to try and hunt the L3. It would be nice to get him off the flank, and that is another Crusader. Somehow, I have managed to miss every single kill in this broadcast. Please excuse me for that. Crusader 3 able to take out that M15, and that is the Crusader 3 out, dead by the M15, who is hunting for an ace. Car Lover on 4 kills. That M15 has been on a rampage on the south flank. Not even a flank, really. He's been popping these guys head on, getting kills. And there goes Car Lover. I'm going to go ahead and spectate him. He is the last main gun of Anzio. Keep in mind, we do still have an L3 on the B cap, ready to flank around. Don't count the L3 out. In lightweight, he is able to do some damage. If he can get a side shot on one of those Tetrarchs, he can kill. But the M15, obviously, at this point, is the main worry for Glow. And this has been relatively quick. There is still a good amount of time. 1750 on the timer is when the cap opens. There's 7 minutes of this. I don't believe it will take that long. M15 rolling around this building. I'm trying to get the angle on the Tetrarchs, but keep in mind down this direction there is another Tetrarch. And there he is taking a shot on the transmission. M15 is out. What a shot by that Tetrarch. Who was that got the kill? I believe... Was that Pair? That was not Pair. That was Ruku. Ruku in the Crusader 3. Not the Tetrarch, excuse me. But what a shot by Ruku. Down the lane, taking out that M15. It is now just down to the L333. Let's get a view on where he is. He is hiding near the friendly point cap. I'm not sure what he's doing here. He really gave up an opportunity to try to flank those Tetrarchs, and I don't know if it would have been successful, but it certainly would have been better than whatever this is. I have no idea what he's accomplishing by being here. Don't want to tear into the guy too much, but you have to help your team out in these situations. Unless he's AFK, maybe. His engine is off, and he is hiding near the friendly cap. We will see what that accomplishes. We have 6 minutes until the enemy cap opens. Glow desperately want a win here. I'm sure that they're not going to throw caution to the wind and rush into the city. So we will see how this develops. But real quick, if we can have an appreciation for Car Lover, he had a great effort here on the south. That P40, unfortunately, not able to do too much going down the line. If we can rewind a bit here, we saw the majority, I think 4 Tetrarchs up here, Crusaders around here on the far side and back here. The P40 rolled around here, was able to see the Tetrarchs, but rolled into this building to sit instead. He had this entire side of the map all open, so he easily could have pushed down here. It would have been risky, but he could have done some very significant damage. Unfortunately, he just kind of sat around until eventually the 75-34 that was backing him up got his engine sniped by one of the Tetrarchs in the hill, and from there he was just ineffective. The 4 Tetrarchs had him pinned down dead to rights, and that transmission is a big, glaring weak spot when you are sat still and not moving. The reason I have time to go over this right now is because, again, that L3 is doing this, which is an interesting tactic. Again, engine off. Set next to the friendly cap. Maybe his idea is to hide until cap opens. But there are 3 Glow members left, which means that even if cap does open, Glow is going to cap much faster than the L3 is able to. So again, not sure what the plan is. Then again, I'm not the, I'm not the guy getting shot at, so who am I to speak about it? I do want to go over the replay real quick as soon as we get out of here. I believe, I don't want to call it too soon. This looks like a Gloriana win. I don't think that the L3 is going to be able to get 3 kills here. We will see. whenever this match does end, I want to go over the replay real quick. This is an interesting play by Gloriana that I would like to review now that we've seen the whole thing play out. I would also like to watch it from that car lover perspective. Glow has sent the Crusader in Ruku all the way around to, I assume, hunt for that L3 wherever he is, look around the cap. They are looking in the right direction, but I don't think they're going to spot him. Unfortunately, unless they get right on top of the cap, they're just not going to see him. And then the two Tetrarchs are sitting in their original position. I believe they're moving now. Was that a shot? Is that a shot I heard? No, I guess not. The Tetrarchs are now moving. This is incredibly interesting gameplay. As you might imagine, sitting and hiding in a house next to the enemy point. Oh, wait! L3 has turned his engine on. I repeat, his engine is on. That means that he has the potential to move at any given moment. This is big for the life of this stream. And he is revving his engine. He has not moved, but his engine has revved, which displays some intention to move at some point in the future. Exciting stuff. And his engine is back off. Okay. All right. Okay. This is the moment where I bring up Sonic Adventure 2 and play that on the other monitor. Unfortunately, I don't have a second monitor on me, so we are stuck looking here at this. Is anyone watching? I wouldn't be watching. If anyone's watching, sound off in the chat. Let me know if I should play something else. Maybe I can play a racing game. Do you like racing? Maybe some Battlefield. Battlefield would probably get better numbers. I could be playing Battlefield right now. And the Crusader is leaving. We have about 1 minute until cap opens, and at that point, I believe Anzio is just out of luck. Obviously, the L3 is going to get on the cap first, but if St. Glow is smart here, they can push the L3, or if they just want to sit on their own cap, 3 people on cap is going to go a lot faster than 1 person on cap. So either way, Anzio is not making it out of this. I do not know what their plan was. Maybe he thinks that if he can get on cap soon enough, he can outpace them, but I don't think that he will. It looks like Glow is pivoting towards enemy cap now. We have 20 seconds now until cap opens. People are disconnecting from the game. I cannot imagine why. Big Fagel is displeased by this display. Big Fagel is not a fan. Hey, and there goes the L3. He is walking into the cap. That was, in fact, his plan. But unfortunately, Glow is going to cap much faster. And he's driving off the cap, so I don't know what the fuck he was thinking. He's going back to his spawn. Okay. I'm not even going to bother with that. Let's just watch Glow start capping here. Glow's cap is going to go much faster because they have multiple people on it. Ruku's got his 2 little Tetrarchs out to do his work. I believe they can outpace here, but I think that if Ruku wants to be safe, he's probably going the cap as well. Is he going for it? Yes, it looks like he is moving towards the A cap to try and speed the cap up even faster. I think that they win regardless. I think 2 people over 1 person is going to be a win. I mean, you can already see on the top there that A is catching up to B. But you know, you want to be extra safe. Put all 3 of you on. It is just an L3. I don't know if they know. Maybe they don't know it's an L3. Maybe they think it's like an M15 or something. Good stuff. Good stuff out of the swag guy. Looks like he is beginning to understand that he is not going to outpace the enemy cap. But he's not going back. What the fuck is he thinking? I want to get in this guy's head. I want to understand the thought process here. Is he's going back on his friendly cap? I mean, he's got to know that it's not... No, okay, yeah, he's leaving again. He's hiding next to... What? Why? Why do you do this, swag guy? What is going on in your head? What are the inner machinations of swag guy 9986? I mean, he's gonna let the enemy team cap before he gets there at this rate. I imagine he's trying to go around now to like get on their side so that he can try and knock them off the cap, but like, I mean, you're running out of time here. You've already wasted the last 10 minutes when you would have had better positioning. And you're going all the way around. I mean, if he gets supremely lucky here, he might get a kill. But the enemy team is still capping. And they're probably going to spot him now because they know where he's coming from. Because that Crusader is up on the hill. And more than that, he's on a time limit. He has about a minute. I'll give it 1 minute until St. Gloriana caps the point with or without him. And now he is getting in close to push them. They're going to hear his engine now. Again, I am incredibly curious what the fucking plan is here. Tetrarchs are going to... They definitely hear him. Oh, I took a shot, and he's dead. Wow. What a fucking play, dude. I mean, I don't want to be too harsh here, but that's like 10 minutes. 10 minutes of time that you could have used to make a play. And, I mean, you had to have known that they were going to cap faster than you could, so what was the point? Why would you... I don't know. Some dissection needed there for sure. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and view that replay. I would like to go over the plan real quick and see how this was divvied up. So this is really interesting. The 2 sides... Let's go ahead and skip to the beginning. Come on. There we go. All right, so we can see here, just initially, the 2 sides played a similar position on either side of the map. They both set up along the center to the southeast of the city. They probably would have traded fairly evenly, if not, I mean, objectively speaking here, if we look at this, Anzio has the better guns. There are 3 tanks on Anzio that will one-shot anything that St. Glo can bring out. Both of these 7534s will one-shot anything on Glo's team. P40 will one-shot anything on Glo's team. If you look at this just down to the numbers, I think that Anzio out-trades Glo here, but here's what happens is when Glo is setting up along the ridgeline, instead Anzio sends a majority of their forces, including their P40, which is their bread and butter, their strongest tank, down to this little divot in the city where, I mean, they're safe, but they're ineffective. They're completely ineffective in this fight. So when the first kills start happening, you're going to start seeing, let me just go ahead and zoom out here. Why is everybody green? That shouldn't be happening. Everybody on the map is green. Okay. There we go. What we're going to see whenever this starts popping up is we get the little scout tank, right? The scout tank's going to go around the side here and die to the Anzio flanking force. That's one kill. And then we see this entire force in the center here completely ineffective. So when the trades start coming in, when these guys are firing at these guys, this entire side of the map doing nothing. And then finally, we get the P40 to... Oh shit, did I miss it? No, this is good. So, again, trades in the favor of the Tetrarchs. That cannon is, it's good. It's a good cannon, but it just doesn't compare to these 75s. The reason that they're trading so well here is because they have the majority of the forces, the faster reload, in a better position. Without the armor of the P40, without the better cannons of the M15s that are sitting in the middle of nowhere. And then if we move over to the P40 here, we can see him on the flank. This is where the Tetrarchs are set up. This is where the Tetrarchs are set up. If he were to push around the underside or have pushed just straight up the middle of up here, he probably could have done some serious damage while his teammates were dying and taking shots in the back row, soaking up that damage. And then we can see behind him here, Cornetto is going to sit out in behind him. And instead of them making a move, he just ends up getting shot right in the side here because he is open from where the Tetrarchs were. Now I know that was sped up. I know that I kind of skipped past most of it, but if you watch the replay as a whole, you'll see that they sat in that area for entirely too long, wasted a lot of time. I think that's really the crux of where Anzio made their biggest mistake. And now he's going to be set up trading with the Tetrarchs on the hill. Again, I don't like this spot. The P40 is at its deadliest on areas where it can cover this big weak spot right here on the transmission plate. I think that is where it ends up dying to the Tetrarch. He's just going to be trading shots in this open field. Now they know exactly where he is. Now they have people up here as well that can take pot shots at him. The P40 is in the open. He does have backup coming along behind him, but that backup's not going to be able to make all the way over because he knows that this 3475 just died right here, and he is not willing to take the long route around to get to the P40. And P40, I think, is eventually going to die to one of these Tetrarchs. Let me see if it was... Yeah, there it is. Yeah, okay, I think it was one of the ones over here. Maybe not. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the plan was here. I don't mean it to be too critical because I make a lot of mistakes when I play in these matches too. I'm just trying to dissect. That P40 popped a smoke up behind him and then ran... I assumed to get up to this next cover over here, but this Tetrarch right here had a clear shot. The Tetrarchs down here had a clear shot. I believe they were over here. Yeah, right there had a clear shot. Not sure what his plan was. And there's just so much of this team that relies so heavily on this P40 being able to perform. Once that P40 dies, what do you have left? You have tanks that have no armor. You have tanks that have good guns, but not so capable that they're willing to one-shot. They can one-shot anything. Now I think that's more or less when the match ended, but this M15 gave a very valiant effort. He had a great idea of exactly where the M15s were, moved around cover consistently. I think he's hearing a flank coming, which is why he waits for his teammate, pushes around, gets a shot there on the corner, takes out the Sanklo flank. Great work from this M15. It does make me wonder. And also I want to give Ruku a bit of a hats off here for knowing where that M15 was after he took out the flank and waiting there for him to come around and take him out. I believe that's the end of the match, but I do wonder if Anzio should start splitting up the responsibilities. Not that Primus is a bad player, but splitting up the responsibilities of that P40, considering it is, the big important tank for Anzio, splitting up that responsibility, moving it around different hands might be worthwhile, especially in somebody like, Karl Lover, I've watched a lot of these Anzio matches. I don't think I've ever seen anybody but Primus play a P40. I may be wrong there. I could easily be mistaken. But, seeing somebody who got 4 kills in an M15 be a little bit more aggressive and able to take that flank is a little interesting to see. Anzio might have had more of a chance. And then last part of the match, I mean, obviously, not a lot happened. It was 15 minutes. I can speed it up pretty significantly here. Get it on 16x. It is an L3 sitting with his engine off, waiting for that cap to open. There are a lot of things I could say about this. I don't think the L3 had much of a chance. To be fair to the L3, there's not a lot he could have done, but you could have done something. I think the worst possible thing that you can do in this situation is nothing. You let St. Glow. You could have caught St. Glow at a disadvantage up here. You have to know down to game knowledge. You are not going to cap faster than 3 people. It's not going to happen. And if you let them get to the cap first and dig in, then you've already lost. But not a ton he could have done. He wasn't an L3. I think the biggest crime here is just the 15 minutes of time that we're never going to get back. And that's it. I believe that's all we have to go over. That is the only match that we have for today. We are nearing the end of the season. I am excited to see where it goes. I think that's it, everybody. So yeah, thanks for watching. Whoever stuck around, appreciate you. And I will see y'all likely next week for another match. Have a good one.